All right, so this is the deck that is in the lead for the tournament I'm playing on Saturday. Pretty sure I'm going to play this. It felt like a really good mix of just answers and quality threats that can close the game out. So we're basically blue-black control, splashing primarily for binding of the old gods here. Being able to destroy any non-land permanent is a good fixed target problem that control decks can have in this game. And being able to search our deck for a forest lets us not only color fix in our 3-color deck, but also get to our big piece of the top end like Ugin sooner. Graven Lore is our piece of card advantage of choice. Scry X, where X is the amount of snow mana that you pay, and then draw 3 cards. So we have some triomes in our deck as non-snow lands, but if you look, and pathways, but we have 20 pieces of snow mana. So on average, this card scries like 2 to 4, plus draws 3 cards, which lets us keep up nicely. We also have Elder Gargaroth as an additional way to both generate card advantage and buffer our life total in the aggressive matchups while we close games out. But our primary win condition in this deck is definitely Faceless Haven over here. Getting to attack people with our creature land here is fantastic. And to find our creature land more consistently, we also have 2 copies of Spirit of the Aldergard. So while this one doesn't ramp us like Binding of the Old God ramps us, this is a threat, and it can fish up snow lands, including Faceless Haven here, which is a snow creature land, which is great. We have things like Heartless Act and Bloodchief's Thirst and Soul Shatter to keep us alive in the early game, and we have Ugin to clean up the board if we ever get too far behind. So let's go ahead and dive on into some more games this one today and see if we can get some more practice in, huh? Hey, Bone Daddy, thanks for the tip. I really appreciate that generosity. I'll get that added to the deck queue, and that should be up tomorrow morning. I think this deck probably has a bad rogue matchup, but other than rogues, I think we've got a lot of play in most places in the format right now. It's a little slow, but it's got my maze on too, so let's do it. Blue-red, probably the flash snow deck. See how this matchup goes. Yeah, Soul Shatter works very well against people that are Tybalting you. If you want to hedge the Tybalt deck, you could definitely play 4 of that card. Answers most of their threats cleanly. You think Graven Lore is better than Multiverse? I found the flexibility of costs of Multiverse to be wonderful. Yeah, I think it's better. I mean, like, the blunt answer is, yes, I think it's better. That's why I'm playing it instead of Multiverse. Mazemind Tome is basically the card I'm playing as a cheap, flexible answer. I think the fact that Mazemind Tome can gain me life makes it a better tool than Multiverse in this deck. I think Multiverse's main upside is the fact that it's instant speed, and my deck is largely a tap-out control deck, so the fact that that's instant speed doesn't really matter. Yeah, Graven, and here's the best comparison. Not only does Graven Lore draw you 3 cards instead of 2, but at its absolute best, Graven Lore sees twice as many cards as Multiverse does. So Multiverse, if you scry 2 bottom, draw 2, you see 4 total cards. With Graven Lore, you see 8, right? You can scry 5. And while obviously you're not always scrying 5, in the mid to late game you generally are. Especially in the late game. Like, this hand's a little awkward for this card because we've drawn 4 of our 8 non-snow lands, but on average, this card's very good. Perfect. And them tapping out here for this is huge. We get to get our binding in next turn, which will not only kill their threat, but will develop our mana more. Getting to a point where we can double spell consistently against a counterspell deck is important. So Binding of the Old Gods resolving and letting us do that is huge. I don't think the Tybalt split card is very good in this deck. I don't envision it solving any problem that we have, so I'm not sure why I would want to play it. Like, what problem do you think we have that's solved by adding that card to my deck? Why is it a good addition? I know we're only scrying one here, but I think we're playing Graven Lore just to use our mana. There's a chance they counterspell it anyways. If they counterspell this, that's great for us. And, like, we need lands at this point, so, like, even if this just resolves with only scry one, that's still good, because we're going to hit land drops with it. Actually, Heartless Act is kind of great, right? Not keeping the next one, though, because we need a land drop this turn. Alright, we got there. And then Mazemind Tome plays out elegantly here. Morning, Griffin. Welcome. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel today. Go ahead and kill their threat right now. Gold Span Dragon. I saw what the auto tapper was doing and I was fine with it. I always check my mana. Almost always, basically always. Alright, so if they have double counterspell here, obviously their dragon's going to live, but we're gonna take our, definitely shooting our shot. We're young, scrappy, and hungry, chat. It's one dead dragon. No treasure for you. Come back in 1 year. Gargaroth gaining life is a big deal. Gargaroth being able to gain us life is really important. I really care what we draw at this point. I'm going to prioritize searching up our tapped snowlands. I could be right to drop this spirit into play here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this now. We just keep all of these, right? Just scry 4 to the top. So long. That's like the oh shit moment, right? They're like, wait, you put how many on top? All of them. They're all great. There aren't better cards in my deck than these. These are a few of my favorite things. So I have enough mana to Spirit, Gargaroth, and Heartless Act here. Okay, and they just let that resolve, so now I just pass, right? Like, my threat happened, I can use my mana on these Mazemind Tomes. Oh no, don't bounce my Spirit. And then I can fire up Faceless Haven to block plus draw a card. I think I'm actually going to scry here too, because I want to work towards getting this to gain 4 at this point. It is Bolt Boy, yeah, that's why we're playing it again today. Thank you for the 10 months, really appreciate the prime, welcome back. Swap Man, if you're still here, thanks for the follow, sorry I missed that. Six, 7, 10 mana? We just like double Gargaroth this turn? I think that's the play, right? I don't remember being skeptical that Gargaroth was good enough yesterday. Can you remind me what I said? I definitely think Gargaroth is great. It does a little bit of everything. It beats down, it draws cards. That's good. Sure, I said in some matchups is good. We talked about boarding Gargaroth out in some matchups. And I think that's definitely still true and correct to do. Like there was a matchup where we talked about boarding Gargaroth out. I think that you board Gargaroth out there, for sure. I forget, the Naya Adventures matchup, you board Gargaroth out, and that's fine. Is there a reason we aren't casting Ugin? Why is Ugin better than any of the cards I've played so far? What does dealing 3 damage to their face a couple of times do? Can you explain? I would much rather play to the board so I don't die to this Faceless Haven. Ugin does not answer their creature lands, which is their current threat. Ugin also makes it hard to double spell, and if you'll note, I've been double spelling almost every turn this set. Yes, it is very incidental life gain from tomes is in fact very good. Big agree. Oh shit! I tapped in a way that I can't activate this. That's awkward. That's fine. That's fine. Alright, so... Soul Shatter's great here. Koma is great here. Mixed feelings on Nightmare. This probably isn't good enough. Negate's probably fine. It's crazy to cut Ugin here. Maybe I don't want the second one. We leave the first one in. Do I want any of these cards? I don't think any of these other cards up here are better. I don't think I want more than 2 strokes. I think this is another one of those, like, stroke is fine, so we don't board it out, but it's not good enough to board the other 2 copies in. If that makes sense. You have a Koma in the board. It's literally in my deck. Maybe this Bloodchief's Thirst is fine. Being able to kill a Shark Typhoon thing for 1 mana is okay. And like 4 mana, kill a dragon isn't terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. This could be better than the Miser Ugin. Let's try like this and see how it goes. Medins, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel today. I feel like after how that last game played Drago for a little bit, kills the creature land. It does not kill the creature land. Thirst is a sorcery. This hand's obviously slow if they start out aggressive, but I feel like we're gonna play Drago for a bit, and this is a perfect draw, right? Just like something that lets me kill their first threat is ideal. This kills Giant without making us take 2, and it kills Giant without making us take 2, and it kills Dragon without giving them a treasure, which is lovely. Yeah, Bloodchief's is already, like, very good. Alright, well, I mean, if they're missing land drops, we're just playing the past the turn game, right? Just a mensch, thank you for the 13 months, really appreciate that. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. Gonna do this to get the counter spell. Hey, I'm glad you're like, yeah, I haven't had much of a chance to play with that build I sent you at Andros, so it was mostly theory crafted. I don't envision myself playing it in the tournament this weekend, so I haven't made time for it yet. I expect we'll play that. It is a Giant deck next week on stream at some point. Well, they didn't leave red mana up, so I think I just fire this up and crack them for 10. This is bad if they Borrower bounce my spirit. But yeah, take 10 sounds great. Hey, Just. Am I going to stream the tournament? Yeah, I'm going to stream the tournament with a delay on Saturday. I'll probably update my schedule for next week here soon. Yeah, this deck's got good closers for a Magic control deck for sure. Am I going to run this deck list? Most likely. I've liked this deck against everything other than rogues, so we just hope to get lucky or dodge. UDM, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this morning. By the way, for my regulars and for new folks, my schedule for today and tomorrow is going to become my normal schedule during non-set release times. So a few hours of Runeterra to start, a few hours of Magic after, and then a couple of hours of a variety game at the end of the day. I'm going to play some more Dad of Boy this afternoon after we're done with Magic. How would you henge this deck versus Rogues? Chainweb. Chainweb's a card I hadn't thought about. That could maybe be okay. I looked over the list of cards that we could maybe play, and I concluded I just wanted to punt the matchup. Yeah, I could see Chainweb being okay. 4/5 reach that murders a flying thing when it comes into play, and they mill you into it. I don't know. I kind of like where my sideboard is at right now. I feel like punting the rogue matchup is fine. I think if I wanted to fit Chainweb in, I'd have to give up my copies of the -2/-2 card, which would make both our white weenie and our red aggro matchup worse. Yeah, I think there's a good chance that Chainweb isn't enough to move the needle in that matchup anyways, and I'd rather just keep my other matchups fine. I have no idea, and it's Magic, right? Like, Magic's a pretty high variance game, so like, in reality, even if you're punting a matchup, you can still win it a good chunk of the time. Hope they make a mistake or get a little bit lucky. Yeah, it seems pretty good. Couple pieces of spot removal, piece of card advantage, all our colors of mana. I like it a lot. I mean, to be fair, that's true in most card games too, right? Like, Runeterra right now has a number of decks that I would classify as polarizing. And in Runeterra, you don't have the option to sideboard against them because it's a best of one game for the most part. So at least with Magic, like, you know, if I have a sideboard match, if I really wanted to beat Rogues, I could pack a bunch of board cards in to beat Rogues. I don't think just the spider's enough, but I could definitely pack in a number of cards to do it. I like it a lot, a Dumb and Dumber reference. Of course it is, come on now. You gonna step on my face, opponent? Do it, you know what I like. Step on me! Come on, Excalibur. Do it. Hey, Magical Caracal. Thank you for the 2 years. It's good to be back. I've been enjoying the set. You know what? Honestly, variety is the spice of life. Yesterday... Excuse me? Sure. Alright, yep, you know what? We take those. Look, the opponent clearly missed, like, chat. Cut them some slack. They're obviously stream sniping. I think I shatter here for the sake of resource efficiency. I'm gonna stop on my upkeep next turn, because I think it's important that I hit my land drop. So if we scry and miss a land at their end step, we're gonna scry again on our upkeep. And if we hit our 4th land, Spirit of Aldergard here is going to make sure we get our 5th land, which is lovely. If notice while playing this deck, then answer to Crawling Barrens is relevant. I've swapped Heartless Act for Eliminate because of this problem. I think that's a shit change. I think Heartless Act is the much better piece of removal because of more expensive cards like this. I think you beat Crawling Barrens by blocking. The answer to the why am I not playing the other answers is Crawling Barrens isn't super popular. 2, we can block. It also Heartless Act still kills Crawling Barrens depending on the situation too. Correct. Imagine this is Eliminate. I mean, imagine this is Eliminate here. Like, just think about it. Just dead. Can't win the game anymore. $28 land deck, chat. 28 land deck. Feels Magic the Gathering, man. Scryed 3 times, took 2 draws. 28 land deck. That's just how it goes. It's how it be. This is not a Disdainful Stroke matchup. Bloodchief Thirst is probably important for killing their Dorko. Their, what's it called? The Edgewall Innkeeper. Elspeth's Nightmare, probably not good enough. We'll trim. Let's leave 1 in, because it does tag Innkeeper. We'll trim 1 Graven Lore, because I don't want too many 5s in this matchup, and we are adding an Ugin in. Honestly, it might be right to split these 2 too. Let's do that. This sometimes tags Ember Cleaves or Henges out of their hand, which is nice. Should have banked our spell mana. Yeah, exactly. Out of curiosity, what matchup do the additional strokes come in? And exactly the Yorion matchups. Yorion and Ramp. I think last time we played against Adventurers, I actually cut the strokes because we just went toe-to-toe and out-card advantaged them. Because we have lots of ways to destroy Henge, and we have Ugins to clean the board up after they Scalds. Like, Stroke is fine there, but it's, like, not amazing. While Stroke tags a lot of good cards in the Adventure matchup, we're frequently playing as a tap-out control deck in that matchup, which means you can't really afford to hold it up on key turns when they're playing the cards you'd actually want to counter with it. So I think you'd much rather just, like, play more things that play to the board, rather than trying to awkwardly hold up counterspells in your tap-out deck. This is fine. Not amazing, but fine. Yeah, it's actually pretty good, right? We've got a piece of removal, we have 4 lands, we have a piece of card advantage, we have all of our colors. I take it back. I take it back, hand. You're above average. I don't remember how we just sideboarded against the Tempo deck. You'd have to go back and look at it. So, for reference, one of the things that I will do before the tournament on Saturday, when I've decided this is the deck I'm going to play, sometime tonight or Friday night, depending on how my children permit me to have time, is I will sit down and I will go through all of the common matchups and make sure the number of cards I'm sideboarding in and sideboarding out line up well. I will write myself a sideboard guide. People often ask, what's the #1 way you get better at sideboarding in Magic? And the answer to that question is very simple. You need to practice sideboarding when you're not playing games. So practice sideboarding when it's not on you inside of a game with the timer running down. Look at all of the common matchups you expect to play against and think, okay, what are my plans in these matchups? You also have Soul Shatter that can kill Barons a lot of the time, Charizard. You can kill the rest of their stuff and then Soul Shatter the Barons. We're bottoming that. I don't really have many snow lands at the moment. Perfect. There's our second green source. So now we can Heartless Act plus draw a card this turn and then Gargoth the next turn. Field of Rune is standard legal. I don't think we're really interested in Field of Rune. Maybe you could play Field of Rune. I actually would accept that a Field of Rune could be better than our third Fabled Passage. Maybe we'll try that today. I could see that being super reasonable. I don't hate it. So here's the problem with your comment there, Stormy Waters. You were talking with your friend about how do you fix the variance in Magic. Magic isn't broken. The variance doesn't need to be fixed. Magic is a game that has an incredible amount of variance by design, and if you want a game that has less variance, I'd recommend playing something else. And that's fine if you don't enjoy the variance of the game and you want to play something else, but you also shouldn't look at this is a core feature of the game as the game is broken because I don't like this thing about it. PC Turtle, thanks for the follow, welcome to the channel. Yeah, games, if you want to get rid of resource variance, games like Hearthstone and Runeterra, Mythgard, what was the other game we played the other day? Chroma. There are a ton of great card games that remove resource variance. They do other things to varying degrees worse than Magic does, or different than Magic does. I wouldn't call them strictly better. Tidwell, thank you for the Prime. I really appreciate the 21 months. Welcome back. And we've got both Wilt and Binding here to deal with Henge, which is lovely. No blocks. You're not stepping on my Gargoth. So I assume we're going to see a Bone Crusher Giant come down here. Magic is not a cheap game. Magic is an expensive luxury hobby. Let's try and hit my land drop here. I don't think we really need this to generate card advantage. With the Gargoth in play and this in hand. You know, I've never played Go. It's a very old... I should probably learn how to play that at some point. I bet my kids would like it. We played chess and checkers with the boys. Henge is super playable. Henge is very good. I think I draw a card, so I'd really like to find an untapped land here. Nailed it. So the untapped land lets me wilt this and then binding this. Easy to learn, hard to master is a great game to play with. Great kind of game to play with kids. I think I'd agree with that. Henge is arguably one of the best cards in the format right now. Opponent mousing over their Henge when I killed their 3/3. I got you covered. Don't worry about the thing. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I think we're at a high enough life total that I can keep drawing cards here. I mean, we play a ton of games with my kids now. They'll probably learn Magic at some point. They like playing games. But like, also like, teaching, I feel like teaching my kids Magic would probably do a bit of a disservice to them. I feel like I'd be much better served teaching them board games. Because like, board games they can actually fully enjoy. Whereas like, this client is reasonably too expensive for me to say, hey, you can go play Magic. Like, I would feel bad kind of teaching them to play and then telling them they can't actually play the whole game. Hey, chat. You ever seen the third chapter on this card be relevant? Because these have Trample and Death Touch now. Smash Up is a good one for kids. We actually have Smash Up, and it's a little bit too much reading for them. Dice Throne has gone over really well at our house. One's been well received by the children. Making a 3/3, and we're gaining 3 life. Let's draw a card. Are they dead? Can you math? Oh, Soul Shatter kills them, right? These have Death Touch? Yeah, you're super, right? These only have to assign 1 damage to each blocker. They were dead without the Soul Shatter, right? They like block and then they take 10 over here. Yes, third chapter being relevant. I'm happy with how I board him. Turn it back. Yeah, having kids that can play board games has been great during the pandemic. We like have our own 4-person board game night. Gargaroth is very good. I'm playing 4 of that card for a reason. Toasted Mino, thank you for the 16 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. If you're someone who has who's looking for good games and wants something that's flexible to play with kids, we taught our kids Centuries Golem, and that one went over really well. And that's one of my favorite games to play with my adult play group as well, so the fact that it scales to kids was a big plus. My 5- and 6-year-old understood the base mechanics well. That sounds good. Where can I purchase these children you speak of? They're incredibly expensive. And I'm not talking like 4 figures expensive, I'm talking 5 to 6 figures expensive. You have to create them, and then they have to be birthed, then you have to raise them up. There's a long stasis period before they can play games. Children are more expensive than Magic. Like a Tamagotchi. Does that work? Does that do what I want? I did it. I linked the command successfully. I'm gonna keep this on the draw. It's got triple Doomblade in it. It's obviously missing a color, but this can cycle if we brick off. For people out there that aren't familiar with the price of children in the United States, if it was normal, non-plague times, where it would be safe to send my 7-month-old to daycare, it would cost me approximately $1,400 per month to send my 7-month-old to daycare, so my wife and I could work. And that dollar amount is cheaper where I live in the cornfields. It's more expensive than that if you live in a major city. To $2,000 to $3,000 per month is not an unrealistic price for full-time childcare. If you live in somewhere like DC or New York or Chicago, per kid, yes. How are people supposed to afford that? They can't. That's why millennials largely aren't having kids. When Jacob and Declan were both in daycare before Jacob started kindergarten, my daycare was more than my mortgage. I'm opening a daycare center, I guess. I am actually, my wife, I'm by proxy, but my wife is actually good friends with the person that owns the daycare center we sent our kids to. You don't get rich running a daycare center. Those prices aren't because they're getting wealthy doing what they're doing. It's because every other country where daycare is much cheaper than that subsidize it because they realize that children are our future and that they should encourage people to have kids because it's good for society. That's true. Twitch chat is a lot like adult daycare in a way. Untapped green source. I'm gonna cycle this, because if we break, the game is over anyways. So let's try and hit. You know? And like, there's nothing you can really do about games like this. You just have to accept that like these are the types of games of Magic that are gonna happen. Like, you know, we're gonna lose this match, but we're gonna lose it because in games 1 and 3, I just never played a 4th land. And I scryed a bunch, and I cycled, and I drew extra cards. So like, my deck is built in a way to mitigate the amount of times that feel bad variance is going to happen, but it's still gonna happen sometimes. Yeah, right? Like, my deck has 28 lands, and a cycling, and it is scrying, and sometimes you're just gonna miss. That's just games you gotta be okay with. If you're gonna play Magic, you gotta take those lumps. That's why whenever people talk about tournament formats and how some tournament formats are low skill and whatever, it's like anybody that wins any Magic tournament, any card game tournament, regardless of what the structure was, got lucky to do so, right? Yeah, exactly. We're just saving up our cumulative variance for... The most important thing about losses like that on the ladder is losing a match like that doesn't mean I need to go and change my deck. Like, I could take a loss like that and look back and go, nah, this is fine. We just need to run a little bit better next time. Is 30 lands too many in a standard Magic deck? I don't think this deck needs more lands in it. I think looking at that game and concluding you need to make changes to your deck is very foolish. Frankie and Subalicum, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel. Oh, I was going to add a Field of Ruin. Yeah, I forgot about that. Sure, I can give that a try. I'm going to write that down so we can do it after this game. Thanks for the reminder. I forgot. 28 is the perceived highest you ever want to go for a team. Like, that's also nonsense. There have been plenty of examples of decks in the last couple of years that played more than 28 lands and were fine with doing so. That were 60 card standard decks. In fact, I'm going to time you out because that's such nonsense. Don't post things that are just factually incorrect. Stop it. Get some help. Yeah, the Yarok field deck that I played got as high as like 35 lands and 60 cards at one point, I believe. Oh. I remember Rachel saying in an interview once, the difference between a pro and a grinder is top decking lands. Yep. Big honest truth. So this is why we waited to Heartless Act. So that way if they targeted Bone Crusher Giant with this, we could Heartless Act it. Because ideally I want to Soul Shatter this because I can't Heartless Act it. It's got 1/1 counters on it. My mana's a touch awkward at the moment, because like I wouldn't mind drawing a binding, but I also need to draw Greenland. No threat here is very good for us. Second Disdainful Stroke is very bad. I'm gonna wait to play this, because I don't want to commit to a color on it just yet. Feels like there's a good chance they play something worth stroking here. With the 4 life from the Mazemind Tome coming up here soon, I think I'm actually going to take a hit for 4. to see if they give me something to stroke. Because if I can stroke plus draw a card here, that would be ideal. Perfect. Remember, your life total is a resource. Getting our second blue at this point. And then we've got a stroke for their follow-up play here, or we can activate Mazemind Tome. My daughter has 4 teeth can be at once. I forgot what well-rested made. Yeah, Haley hasn't quite cut a tooth yet. I'm sure that's coming. Untapped Greenland. Untapped Greenland. Alright, tapped Greenland. Beggars shan't be choosers, chat. I kind of want a Naked Nightmare, but they also could have other smaller things that we could kill later with it. Yeah, I'm just going to pass here because they don't give us something to stroke while Graven Lore. We get to scry 3 with it. Perfect. Yeah, it sounds fine. I don't think I want both of those, but one sounds good. So, if I Spirit, I can grab a Forest, and then the Forest can play the Elspeth's Nightmare. Got me. I have to imagine they're a Croxa deck. It's my favorite type of Ugin, chat. The concession Ugin. Alright, so they have both Giant Killer and the Acronin War. So we are definitely cutting the Gargoths in this matchup. Certainly want my Ugin. Is this a Pestilent Haze matchup? Is this a Disdainful Stroke matchup? It's probably not a Stroke matchup, huh? I have 3 Ugins and 3 Soul Shatters to deal with their indestructible 4-drop. This is good because it's graveyard hate if we expect them to be a Croxa deck. This deals with their indestructible Dorko. Need 2 cuts here. Yeah, Haze kills the indestructible one. What if I trim like 1 Haze, 1 Bloodchief? Is that unreasonable? I could just go full control and cut the spirit of the Aldergards. Is 3 Ugin, 4 Faceless enough to win this game? Probably, right? There's like Ugin and creature lands is the only win cons. And then there's like full lead planks in case they leave in things that kill creatures. I guess Giant Killer technically still kills this, but so they're playing they have a Cronin War in their deck, Bowser Koopa, which makes Koma pretty bad. Koma is there for control decks and the blue red flash deck, basically. Sure, I have all of our colors and a removal spell. Morning, Wargy. You sit on a throne of lies. Boarding out all of our creatures is good against Faki as well, which is sweet. Hand's lining up well here, drawing a couple spells after we kept a land heavy hand. Super happy to play Nightmare on 3. Bring out your dead! Bring out your dead! Night Lord, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this morning. Alright, dodge the Kroxa, and then Elspeth's Nightmare here is gonna get to clear out their stuff before it gets too scary. Kill your creature, take your Ember Cleave. Is there a better feeling, chat? Is there a better feeling? We'll grab an Island here. Island is your land. Island is my land. We're gonna kill your god of death. Do 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 do. So I need to deal with these Dorkos at some point. Probably just Nightmaring next turn. Yeah, Haze would be an okay draw. For sure. I just got a YouTube notification for your Wake the Trolls video, and for a second I thought it was a rant video. That's a good deck name for sure. Quality deck name. This is probably gaining us 3. Perfect. So... Six. This is 7. So we're doing this, and then I think we're just firing up Faceless Haven this turn. Yeah, because I want to save the Soul Shatter to deal with their Predator, since they have that. And they know this is here, right? So, like... Perfect. It's garbage. They could draw a discard spell. They drew a discard spell here. They could have been okay. I'm supposed to kill this, actually. Just take a hit for 2 this turn. Alright. 8 looks at a Bloodchief's Thirst. So what if I just keep all of these? We like draw the land, play the Mazemind, this kills their thing next turn. I'm gonna bottom the second Binding. Because in the event that they draw something scary, I want to be able to Graven Lore plus dig for something else. Or like this can let me dig for another answer next turn if they draw something scary. Bacon Poet, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Soul Shatter is very good. It's a very unassuming looking card that happens to line up really well into a variety of threats people are playing. Big agree that Soul Shatter. I didn't put Field of Ruin in. Listen, it's fine. We don't need it. Mastery orbs for borderless strokes. Don't you have to pay for the mastery for that to happen? I didn't give them money for the mastery pass. That card's uniquely annoying against Heartless Act. Bant enchantments or this, they'll seem fine. The Yorion cards probably translate into other decks better, if that makes sense. If that's a consideration for you. If they don't give us something to stroke here, we're going to take the counters off this at end of turn, yeah? Ha! We just do that now, right? They have a flash creature. Gross. Alright, don't Scalds me. Come on now. I have a heart. Man, what are you? What ranks are you people that you're losing to Crawling Barons? You gotta help me out, chat. What are you playing against? Like, this is the second person like I can't beat a Crawling Barons. Have y'all tried blocking? Yeah, we talked about maybe playing a Field of Ruin. Control players are the weirdest people. They're just like, they can't envision blocking as a mechanic of interaction. They're just like, no, how do I kill their thing? It's like, well, you kill it inside of combat. That's true. To their credit, you haven't been able to block in Magic in a long time, so yes, I guess that's fair. All right, I get 8 cards to look at a 1-mana removal spell here. I haven't played a land yet this turn, right? Did I play a land yet this turn? There's nothing in this client that tells me if I played a land yet this turn, is there? I did play a land this turn. I played the forest, okay. I think my decision is the same regardless, but it feels bad not being able to check. Creature land. Creature land, chat. I believe in you. You can do it. Hey chat, it's everybody's favorite kind of Ugin, the concession Ugin. I mean, you could also kill them, Charizard James, is another answer too. Like, be more proactive is also a solution.
He's surprisingly flexible.
Bye, friend. I have no idea, Thump. If I have to click on every land I've played to see if I played it for the turn, that's still a really bad interface. If that's true, great, but that's still not good. Elspeth's Nightmare's probably not good enough here, right? I guess this tags their Scalds and maybe their Cleaves. Maybe this is good enough. Probably want to trim some of my Chunka Monks at the top end. Trim 2 Graven. Trim the Spirit? Nah, Spirit to get extra green for Gargoyle's probably important. Let's try this. I mean, do they always turn 4 showdown? They're going to sometimes, but not always, right? I'm like, Cleave's probably not a card they're always playing by 4 if they have it. Their mana base doesn't always allow them to play red by 4 or 5. Oh, that's fair. They do know Nightmare is coming. That's a fair critique that I wasn't thinking about. Let's draw another black land, huh? And if we draw any land, Binding gets us to the second black source down the line. Or Spirit gets us to the second black source. Probably gonna be too slow here. See, if we had our fourth land on curve, we might be okay. He says before his opponent plays the thing that makes snow lands come into play untapped.
Come, share rest with me. I will guard your advance.
So we're taking 4 to 5 here in this combat.
My stand will protect you.
Okay, if we get an untapped land, we're in the game. If we brick, we're gonna die. In it to win it, chat. Hi! Thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Welcome back.
I will guard your advance.
Haze definitely did not line up well into their threats this game.
We blaze like the suns, filling every shadow. The worthy move as you are grains in a sandstorm.
Well, I mean, or one out for Haze.
Move like a Ketra's word rose our cause.
You ready to bear down, chat?
Our faith grow. The worthy move as one.
Okay, we're not done on board.
Allies will you are grains in a sandstorm.
So we attack with these, and then these are vigilant, so when I play this land... Oh wait, did I mess up? Oh no, because they're gonna sack this to keep this alive. Okay, so wait, what? Yes, deal. All right, we beat the Brassy Alt with our control deck. Admiral Poop Spicky, thanks for the follow if you're still here. Yeah, Haze was great. People wanted to crap talk my Haze. One is not none. All right, chat, listen. I'm gonna give you the best piece of advice I could ever give you. We said this yesterday too. I'm gonna stop playing this deck, and these are the 75 cards I'm gonna play on Saturday because I'm certain if we play more games with this, we're gonna get unlucky and I'm gonna feel bad about it. So we're gonna keep playing Magic. I'm gonna play these cards on Saturday. I ain't afraid of Crawling Barrens. I'm gonna leave the deck as it is. People in chat have been hurt by the Crawling Bee. I don't know, like maybe you want to hedge Crawling Barrens. You like turn a like I wouldn't hate like turning this Bloodchief's Thirst into an Eliminate. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that. There, would that make you feel better, chat? I now have kill target Crawling Barrens in my 75. I think that's fine. You definitely don't want to cut Heartless Act though. Heartless Act is really important for killing bigger things. So that's it. Ship it. Saturday we're playing in a tournament that I was invited to play in, and you can too. It's open entry. It has a $20 entry fee. There's a $500 prize pool for the tournament on Saturday. And if you finish in the top 4, you qualify for a larger tournament to play in. You can sign up on MTG Melee there. I had a viewer deck submission. Beansy donated for just Kaiori, and let's get that loaded up, huh?